Good Monday morning. You're listening to Talk of the Town on WDBX. I'm your host, Ronnie LaForge, the Carbondale Public Relations Officer. And here with me in the studio this morning is Jeremy Robbins, the head of school from Brim Incorporated. And we've got Emily Esco, who is a student in our options program. So, Jeremy, let's start with you. Thank you both so much for being here with us this morning.
Good morning, Ronnie, and thank you for the welcome. It is such a pleasure for me to be here, with Emily. As you shared, I'm the head of school of Brim Preparatory School Incorporated, which is, we have our high school and middle school program we call the preparatory school, as well as options transitions to independence. And that is a unique program that is located here, again, based at Brim in Carbondale, with close connections in the community, both to our junior college, John A. Logan, as well as the university, as well as businesses and organizations, which is really an important and core part of the program. In its title, Transitions to Independence, and having the students in our program who have already graduated high school have those additional supports with their independent living skills and that transition to college and career and beyond. And what's exciting is that Emily is at the beginning point of that journey, and this could be a moment for her in getting her story out there to really help propel that opportunity for growth and connecting with folks here in Carbondale. So this is just an exciting day for me.
A very exciting day. Well, Emily, you're new to Carbondale. You've only been here for 3 months, you said. What are your thoughts on Carbondale and options, just as you're getting started on this journey?
Well, I think Carbondale is pretty nice, and and when I first came to options, I was a little nervous, but staff helping me a lot in the program, supporting me with staff has supported me with some skills on how to be more independent. They've also taught me how to make my own meals, and when staff are supporting me, they seem to be they give clear directions, and I really do like the classes that I'm taking at options. And
can you tell us a little bit about the classes that you're taking right now? Right out of the gate, what kind of classes are you taking?
So, taking a class called Computer Information, which is basically a graphic design class, and taking a class called Writing for Work, which helps you prepare for writing in a job. And that's a great class. That's such a great class. Both of those classes, Computer Information and Writing for Work. And I've been getting a lot of support in those classes. Shout out to Jack Fraser, my instructor. Yes. He's the instructor of those classes.
Can you tell us about where you're from and how you ended up here in Carbondale?
So I heard about the options program from some friends of mine, and I was like, this program sounds really cool. I looked into it, and I applied, and the program really brought me into brought me into Carbondale, and I'm enjoying the program so far, and it's making me feel successful, and so one of my favorite classes that I like at Options is, or one of my favorite classes at Options would probably be the cybersecurity class. Yeah, that's a really good class too.
You mentioned that Options helps you to be successful, and one of the ways that Options helps students be successful is that connection that they have with the community. So, Jeremy, if you could share with us a little bit about, there have been, you mentioned right before we were on the air, that there have been 60 internship placements throughout Carbondale and the Carbondale area, and those placements really help students like Emily succeed. And if there's anybody listening right now that maybe has a job or maybe an opportunity within their business and would like to host an Options student, they just need to reach out to you.
That's right, Ronnie. It's just remarkable to think of the range of opportunities here in the Carbondale area for students to explore their career pathways, develop, of course, the resume that will help them as they seek the paid employment. And most importantly, the skills that are developed on the job to help with the readiness for that next step. So we're always seeking, it's amazing to think, 60 different organizations and businesses, and we're always seeking additional ones. And it was remarkable for me to hear on the way over here. Of course, Emily joined in January, Options. Most of the students, of course, begin in the fall semester, and we have very few who come halfway during the year. But we really knew that it was important for Emily to become a part of Options, and has been successful thus far. But for me, this was the first time to learn about Emily's dream and what her hopes are for an internship. So, Emily, I would love if you can introduce that idea. It's really exciting.
Yeah, so I've actually had some experience at Landmark College with radio broadcasting. I was a DJ, a radio DJ, so I like to play music. That was great. And also I got to say public service announcements, so updates about the college. And I've had a great experience with being on the radio at Landmark College, and
you hope to continue with maybe an opportunity at a local radio station or an opportunity to get back on the airwaves. I know for people who are used to being in broadcasting, it's always fun to have your hand in it just a little bit.
Yeah. And I was known as DJ Emily on the air. So yeah.
Well, if you could, tell us a little bit, you said you've been in Carbondale for 3 months. Are there any places in Carbondale that have, like businesses that you've stopped at that you really enjoyed the food or you enjoyed the service? You can give a shout out to a local business right here. This is the place to do that.
Well, I think... So I recently tried, I think it's called Culver's.
Yeah.
And that place is really good.
They are fantastic.
Yes. And I also tried Sonic Restaurant for the first time. And I always wanted to try Sonic Restaurant.
Well, we're glad you came to Carbondale and you got to try it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 1 minute left. Is there anything that either one of you would like to add about the Options program, about how businesses in the community can support the mission of Options at BREM?
That's right. Well, Ronnie, just to hear the story of a student who may have had some difficulties, in the past in a school setting to, make that transition to college, but is poised, with the right supports from staff, to really develop that path and recognize her potential. We're just so excited for Emily to be a part of the Carbondale community in the options program, and for individuals to see that potential, right? And in giving an opportunity for an internship or paid employment to a student who may learn some skills on the job, but really has a lot to offer. And we're of course thrilled for all of the students in the options program, like we say, transitions to independence, to develop their skills and move on, advance to the next level. Emily's in the standard phase where we provide the housing. A lot of the classes that students take initially are right in the options building. But then the next step, of course, as students move on to the modified phase and then the extension phase, is greater independence. And so we're, of course, always open to folks to come by and set up a time to learn a little bit more about our programs. We employ so many graduates and current students of the university. It really is a place, both BREM and options, not only for students in our program to recognize and optimize their potential, but also for those who work there as well. And so I'm just going to put in a plug for folks who are interested in learning more about our programs to stop in and check us out.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for joining me. Emily, you did a fantastic job. We're going to have you back on the radio. Well, that does it for this section, this little first half of Talk of the Town. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Fist bump one more time. Great job.